I think we're coming on.
We're live.
Hello, everybody. Let me bring up the chat, even though I can't read it. It's kind of fun. Let's see that if it's going by or not. Todd Hobeck, he's here first. Firsties.
All right.
It's 8 on already. Wow, you guys are thirsty for some live hot comic book guy on comic book guy action.
That's right.
So, I guess weather. What was it like there today?
Nice.
Nice, yeah. It got, I would say, upper 40s here. Tomorrow's a promise of mid 50s, so we'll see. I'm just hoping it gets nice for over the weekend. Let's see, we got checking in. We got Arkham Knight already. We got Gumba. We got that comic book guy. Welcome.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
We got Randy Stone, Joker 68.
Oh, hey, Kurt. Congratulations, Kurt, on that beautiful piece of art that you got recently.
Nice. I haven't seen it yet. It's in
he put it on Instagram. So.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I don't see it on his queue. I see EC Ed's here. Hey, dude. Yickety Yakety. Who Dat Comics and Movies. He's here. I'm sure he's busy with all the Marvel stuff going on. And of course, Todd Hobeck. So tonight's unofficial sponsor is Stockyard Oatmeal Stout. Now, the last time I went and got a bunch of these different wheat beers and stouts, Mike got the Stockyard. And I looked at it longingly, so I decided to get one for myself.
Did he let you sip it?
No, he didn't. Well, Mike's like that.
Yeah, he's a prick.
No, he's like my brother's like that. Like if like say you were eating something, he wouldn't even eat on the opposite end of a sandwich. Say,
oh,
unless he was like starving to death. We're like, I don't care. I'll pick up a piece of pizza and eat it. You know, I'm not out like off the street or anything, but you know, if it's somebody I know, I guess it doesn't really bother me.
I guess I could be a bit of a germaphobe, though.
Really?
Yeah.
But now beer has got alcohol in it, so I don't see the harm.
What, it sanitizes everything that you...
Yeah, it does, including my liver.
Your liver's going to look like a sponge after tonight.
Oh, that's good. Beer makes everyone more interesting.
It certainly does.
And I don't mean the drinker. I mean how I perceive everybody.
Yeah. Yes, I had the goggle eyes a couple of times.
Yes.
It really does change your perception.
It does. Anyway, I also had a birthday on Sunday.
That's right. I wasn't invited or anything.
I was surprised by pretty much everyone I know. My wife planned a surprise birthday party for me on Saturday night, and I had no idea. I had no inkling, you know, because the ruse was that we were going to my mom's house Sunday for a big dinner, and my brother and sisters and you know, niece and nephews and stuff would be there. So I had no idea that when I walked through a friend of ours' door Saturday evening that basically everyone I know was there. Locally, everyone I know was there. So it was fantastic. Great night. I don't think I got home till almost 1 o'clock. I overserved myself, of course, which is fine. There was a lot of Guinness there. I got given so much cream ale and Guinness, it's hysterical. I got shirts and glasses and all kinds of stuff. But I also got a bunch of comic book stuff. So my brother got me some stuff, but one thing he got me, which was really cool, and I think I've seen others show these before. They're called collector mounts. I want to say Reggie, I think, had these, and you can do a couple of things with them. If you look close, you can do a wall mount, or you can set them up as like a double easel. And I thought of you today when I watched your video this morning, and if all you haven't watched it, it's the latest in a series of affordable collectibles. And I think actually this was my favorite installment.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it was stuff that was super affordable, I think. I think I added up everything you showed could have been had for less than $100.
Yeah, they're getting more and more affordable as they go on.
So then you can do this with them. And it has a nut and a bolt assembly here, so it can go up and down. I think I saw Silver Age Dave. Did he pop in here? Because he loves nuts and bolts. I know that. Discovery Base here. Hello. Thanks for talking about the promo this morning. I saw you this morning on there too. Joker 68 still. Yeah, Silver Age Dave's here. Yeah, what do you think of that nut and bolt, Dave? You liking that, huh? Look at that mechanical action. I'm sure that's exciting. Anyway, and then Mike, CGC Mike, as everyone knows him as, got me these really cool cards.
Oh, wow.
And they're Marvel Superheroes first issue covers. The cool thing is, I looked closely on the back, and they were printed by a company called Fantasy Trade Card Company, Rochester, New York. So these were made right here, and these were printed in 1984. So you get a checklist, and then you get cool covers like that.
Oh, wow, that is awesome.
And then it has, the synopsis on the back.
Wow.
I know, as a Marvel card collector or anything, you're frothing at the mouth right now, aren't you?
I'm frothing at something.
Then you got cool
precursor,
things like Amazing Adventures.
The precursor to the Marvel masterpieces.
It really, really was.
Cards, the X-Men cards of the early '90s. Really cool.
These are cool. I mean, you have some oddball ones, but then you have ones that everyone's familiar with.
Yeah, that's nice.
I haven't read all these yet. I will get around to it. Boy, there's a lot of them in here. Oh, here's the best one of the bunch. Who doesn't want to copy a Dazzler?
Is that the one where she's wearing the roller skates that are sparkling?
Yeah, she's got the roller skates on. She's a pop star,
God.
It's funny.
I do like that cover,
as you look at them, they really weren't the first appearances. I mean, you do have the classics, obviously, in there. But then you have Amazing Spider-Man #1, not his first appearance. So these are really cool. As you got to the back, it's where all the older ones are, which is super cool. So thank you, Mike. I'm sure you'll be watching this either live or on the rewind. And then he also got me, him and his girlfriend, who goes to a lot of Comic-Cons. She's kind of vicariously become a comic collector. She's more into movies, though. So she likes to go see the celebrity type people when they go to things. But they got me, it's called an acetate, and it's from the original Jack Kirby Commandy. So it's one of the pages.
Oh, cool.
So, and what's cool about it is it has I think it's the color pattern for everything that's going to be used on here. And it's hard to discern, but if you see it in person, it's actually two laid on top of each other. So it has, when you view it in person, it's almost like a 3D effect. It was really cool. So that was a really neat gift that Mike and his girlfriend got me. So that was awesome. And then I got a package from Anthony. And if you're wondering, Anthony gave me that super cool card back there. It opens up. It's like round, and it's got all kinds of crazy stuff on it. And he altered the bat signal into a pat signal, which was my favorite part of the card. And then he got me this awesome book. And I started reading this Monday, and I think I finished it yesterday evening.
Oh, wow.
What I really like about it, it's very well made. And it has a nice binding, and probably only Damien will appreciate this, but look at that binding, Damien. It's nicely done, isn't it? Anyhow, nice, hardly any gutter loss, too. But it's broken down by decade and then by story arc. So I love some of these new renderings, too. My favorite one of the book is right here, and it's a recreation of Avengers #4 when they find Cap. So it's a modern artwork, but it's done... I love it. I just love this picture. Thor's hair and his expression looks so realistic in this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is really cool. So thank you, Anthony, for that. I really enjoyed this.
You're welcome.
It's the kind of thing that I will read over and over and over again.
It's almost like a reference guide, though, too.
It is. See, like stories like this, like The Crossing. I wasn't reading Avengers then.
Yeah, I like reference guides when it comes.
And there's a whole bunch of stuff in here about the Sentry and all those kind of things. And I wasn't in comics during then, so it's kind of cool to get that kind of a thing. What else? Oh, and my sister got me 2 really nice lithographs of Avengers #1.
Yeah, Avengers.
Look at the size of this thing. It's great. And it just has a really cool look to it.
I got one from you.
Oh, yeah. Yep. They're just so cool. They're printed on that really heavy cardstock, so they're more than a poster. And when you look at them, they're not so glossy. They actually have like a texture to them. And then she got me X-Men #1, but it's the light green box, so I don't know.
I don't want that one.
I might have to upgrade this.
You got up into the dark green.
So it's pretty cool. So these will pretty much everything you saw here will be in the new comic area when I get that set up. exciting news on that too. They're almost done priming, and trimming. So I'll be painting all weekend and getting ready. So hopefully we're not too far off. Then we got flooring, electric fixtures, things like that.
It's all a process. Sometimes it feels like it's never going to end, but it
yeah,
it
yeah, it
does.
does kind of get that feeling. So then I got some T-shirts. I got a Captain America T-shirt. Some other comic book related type T-shirts too. And if I could show you some of my cards, they kind of have either a beer, shamrock, or a comic book theme to them. So I think it's.
You're not Irish, are you?
18%.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm born on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, yeah, I know that.
White hair used to be bright red.
Oh, really? You had red hair?
Oh yeah. I had freckles until I was about 19.
I just thought you had brown hair.
No, I was a full-on ginger.
My son has a reddish hair.
Yeah,
it's just like his mom. Yeah,
he's got like yeah. Who else do we got going here? Oh, it looks like Metarog's here. Who else we got here? AG Surfer's here. Great. Yes, Ed, that is why my name is Patrick. Originally, I was going to be named Michael. So that's a kind of a fun fact. Maybe I'll say that as a trivia question someday for a big no prize.
Fun fact for me was I was originally going to be named Robert.
I could see that. You'd make a good Bobby.
That was my original name.
Yeah.
Until my mother said Robert's an ugly name.
Oh, well, that's not nice.
Well, she spoke her mind. You had to have a tough skin.
Yes, thick skin. So we did get a viewer question in. It's from Alan, who is better known as After Comics, and he usually can't watch this because he's either working or I think he does stuff. He's pretty active in his church, so he's usually doing something there. But his first question, and he had two. Well, three, but the third one was really just for me and Anthony to answer. But the first question was, what is your favorite Fantastic Four or Amazing Spider-Man story arc? So if you want to, you can go first.
Okay. My answer is not going to surprise anybody. It's not creative. It's pretty predictable. Fantastic Four, my favorite Fantastic Four story arc that, now remember, I haven't read them all. Okay.
Yeah.
But my favorite was the Coming of Galactus.
Yep.
I think a lot of people would agree that that's probably one of the top 5 best Marvel story arcs, not just Fantastic Four. I like it. I like the reason why I like it is because of the coming of just this utter doom that's just lurking on the horizon. And it introduced us to the Silver Surfer, which turned out to be a very cool character and became a very well-known hero in the universe.
And don't you feel to a certain degree that storyline, if you could, there'd be Silver Age A and B, that was the B? That kind of the Silver Age really changed from that point forward. That really started to bring in much deeper, not so much stories written for kids under 12 years old.
That's something to think about.
Yeah,
you'd be probably right on that. I never thought of it that way, but as I'm starting to think about it, I remember I said it before. A lot of the early Silver Age books I read, like X-Men 1 and so forth and so on, I read them and I was like, wow, this sucks.
Yeah,
this is like so stupid.
Yeah.
But then when you get to that point, was it 66? When you read that arc, there is a change where like, ooh, this is good. And this was told, way back when Batman's being chased by the Ice Cream Man or something like that.
Had rainbows on the cover every other issue.
Now you. Well, then we'll come back to me for X-Men. What about you? What Fantastic?
Okay, well, mine is a little bit newer, and it's Spider-Man, but it's not in the Spider-Man proper Amazing Spider-Man or really any of his titles. It's in Marvel Team Up. And it's a story arc when he got a hold of Dr. Doom's time machine, the yellow slab time machine. Do you remember that series? Where he went back and he went back to the kind of like the witch trial times.
Okay.
You remember that?
I don't remember.
Witch were in it, and Doctor Strange, I think, was in there, and Doctor Doom, and then he eventually traveled forward into another dimension. He had an interaction with Deathlock, and he finally made his way back to Earth. But that story arc for me was, I was blown away by it. I just love that story arc of Spider-Man. There's a bunch of other ones, obviously, the Gwen Stacy and There's a ton of them. I mean, there's a
What
ton of great ones in there, but that one in particular, I love, probably because I'm a Bronze Age Marvel zombie at heart. So for me, that one, as soon as I saw the question, it's the first story arc that popped into my head for Spider-Man.
what issue was that?
I want to say it's in the 40s.
Okay, so it's pretty early on.
It's got some great Gil Kane covers too.
Oh wow, I got it. I never heard of that, but I will check that out.
Definitely check it out. And for those of you that Metarog or Silver Age Dave, they probably have them like in their hands right now. They probably know exactly, which issues those are. Cougar Comics is here. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, looks like everyone's filtering in, your usual suspects, as it were. The second question, and I think we've kind of answered this before, but I think I want to answer it a little differently this time. The question was, what is your favorite comic trip? I think we both agree for us, Charlotte last year was my favorite.
Yeah, by far.
By a lot. So then next time, what other than that, and I would say let's exclude cons. So I want to alter Alan's question a little bit here. I'm taking a creative license here, Alan. So no cons. It can just be a trip to the store with your dad, or this could be, you went to one of those little local shows at the Marriott or something like that. Or you found a honey hole. What would yours be?
When I met you.
No. Oh yeah, that was a great one.
I mean, there are plenty I could think of when I first started collecting, like the Punisher story and so forth. But as cool as that was, as a new of experience as it was back then,
yeah.
When I went to Doylestown to meet you, it had a lot of different things in there. I met up with a YouTuber that later became my friend. It was a creepy little town, so that's a plus for me.
It was creepy, the cleanest creepy town you ever want to see.
It was creepy. It was. It looked like something out of the 50s. I was waiting for either a vampire to come out of one of the many dark alleys that we passed by, or a blob to come out through the window.
I was waiting for the people to remove their face mask and there'd be all circuitry underneath.
Yes.
That's what it felt like to me.
And I remember, I think as we were leaving that night, I forget what you said to me in verbatim, but I remember I parked farther and farther away, and I think you said something like, "Oh yeah, you gonna be okay walking all the way down there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the Reaper." But as I'm walking around, I'm like, "Oh shit, maybe I'm not the Reaper."
Yeah,
but yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was a great night. Yeah, mine goes back to, and I did a video on this. The other one that came to mind was when Mike and I risked our lives in the. What did I call that? The lakefront hall, where it was just a complete blizzard snowstorm. But I'd say the other one was, and I did a show on it where it was called Miss Buys, or video I did, Miss Buys, I think I called it. And it was a guy that was out in the town near me called Kendall. And he had a bunch of comics up on the third floor of his attic. And he was the one that kept peacocks in the backyard and stuff.
Jeez.
And it was just there. I went up to this attic, and there was a single light bulb screwed into a fixture from like 1909. And when he'd go back downstairs, he kept shutting the door, and I swear it sounded like he was locking it. Well, I know the first time you went down, I went over to the little window that was there, and I kind of stuck my shoulders up to it and said, "Okay, I can fit through here." Figure worst comes to worst, I'll flip one of these piles of comics on top of the guy and jump out the window. Trying to Norman Bates me or something, shows up in his mom's bathrobe.
Trips over a copy of Incredible Hulk 181.
This guy had everything, and that's where I first met the cherry picker too. Guy that had the turtleneck and the briefcase. I
remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to that guy, but I haven't seen him in decades. But he used to always beat me to places, and the only thing I can think of is he had a friend in the newspaper that would tip him off.
Yeah, someone was an inside job. It was an inside job.
Well, I had a guy that was in distribution, so he would tip me off. I would find out in the morning before the Tuesday or the afternoon edition would come out, so I'd know when I would know when there was going to be a comic sale. This guy must have known someone that was at printing, so he got ahead of my guy.
Yeah, his sources were a little better.
Yeah, he had better kung fu than me. Yeah, he got there. So But I would say that was very memorable for me. I got boxes and boxes of great stuff. I'd say that, and I don't like using the term because you hear people say it, and sometimes I think it's a funny term, but I feel like my collection really got legitimized when I bought a bunch of stuff from him. I filled in so many blanks in my collection, and I got some really great early bronze, late silver stuff from that guy, all at great prices. We traded a lot too. Like he was starting a sports card business, and I had all kinds of football cards and baseball cards that I didn't want anymore, and we just traded, and it was just a fun experience.
That was good. It's good you did that.
Yeah, yep, yeah. I got out at the right time on those.
You certainly did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess I have kind of a knack for that. I think there was a TV I traded them in there too, or something, because I had several of those. And
you want a TV?
Yeah, the TV. It was kind of one of those. I didn't have any Hulk statues, so I wished I had. Maybe.
Oh God.
Maybe I could have made a really good deal if I had a Hulk.
Damn Hulk statue.
I wonder if we got to keep track of. And you and Mike and I talked about this week. We're going to keep track of the bad offers and bad deals.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up briefly. I never ceases to amaze me.
The one that Mike got was maybe one of the worst ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think Nick talked about this too recently.
Yeah.
Be respectful as a dealer and as a buyer. Yeah. And people, they contact you and they try to educate you on this, and they're nasty. Yeah. What do you think that's going to do? Do you think that's going to make somebody say, something, you're right, let me give this to you for 30% off? No, it's going to piss me off, and I'm going to make sure that you don't get it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to include Mike's, the one that he sent us yesterday. That might be the worst one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where that guy took 2 paragraphs telling Mike what a bastard he was, and then, oh, by the way, I'd like to buy your comic at a discount.
Yeah, half off, right?
Yeah, half off, and can you throw free shipping in? And I know I just said, what a complete jerk you are, and you're ruining the hobby. But anyway, could I have that comic for half off since we're good friends and all?
Yeah, because you're overcharging.
Yes, you're overcharging. You're ruining the industry.
Yeah, well, thank you for bringing that up to me. You know what? I'll give it to you.
I think Mike and Nick, and I know I do. I don't know if you do, but I usually just look at whatever the going rate is, and I charge like 10% off.
There's that's what I do. I look at GPA. I look at eBay sold listings.
Correct.
And I try to come up with, and I look what's being sold, and I try to come up with a good price, a better price.
Yep.
And it works.
It does for me. My stuff moves really quick. I mean, of all those slabs that Mike and I think I had 60 some altogether. I want to say I think I have 24 left. So I mean, I've already sold 30 some of them, and they're going quick. And I'm patient. I'm not stupid about it, but usually when I first list things, I list them for free shipping for first couple of weeks, and then I
charge. Yeah.
And then I start charging for shipping after that. And I think the people that follow me know enough to okay, he's gonna get free shipping that first week.
But here's what's so stupid, though. Let's say shipping is something that's not a slab, like $7-8, whatever it is, right? You package it well, bulletproof, no problem. And people, it's like they want to lose the book over the shipping. Yeah. They don't want to pay the shipping. Yeah. I mean, are you stupid?
Yeah. Well, I think you answered your own question.
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, give me a break. You really don't want to pay the $7-8. One of the sales that I got, someone contacted me and said, "Oh, please keep in mind that I have to pay the shipping for this." And I'm like, please keep in mind, I got to pay 13% of this.
Yeah. I've gotten that before. Like, I paid shipping. Please, pack it really well. I'm like, no, I'm going to throw it in a shopping bag and a piece of tape and send it to you.
One guy one time about the shipping, I later turned out and I sold it to him. He was good and all that stuff. But before that, he purchased something from me. He sends me this email. Please make sure you package it well. I wouldn't want to. He didn't say it like this, but wouldn't want to file a return,
Yeah.
And I wrote back kindly, there's no need for threats. Believe me, I know how to ship things. And, he's fine and all that stuff. But it was just...
Yeah. It never ceases to amaze me. There's a toy show this weekend, and Mike reminded me of. It's on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And there usually are a lot of guys that bring comic books there, and it doesn't seem to be a lot of comic people there. So I think I might check that out on Sunday. If I do, I'll try to grab some footage of it. And I'm monkeying around with some new software, so hopefully I can jazz this up for everybody. Where while Anthony and I are talking, I can have cubes up here and have maybe some video running or some still shots.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, yeah. So my bandwidth has been really good. I moved my router; it's 10 feet away from me now, up in this upstairs closet. I fit wires through the wall, and I put an outlet in. And right now, I'm downloads 137, and my uploads 12. So screaming fast. And I think I can see it in a video, but we'll see.
I got to get a better microphone.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm going to get any of the Blue Snowball mics. I think are great. I talked to Alan from Overlord, Strange Brain Parts, and that's what he uses. And I think the video quality or the audio quality on his videos is really good.
Text me the information on that. I'll look into that because I'm tired of wearing this thing. My ears are burning at the end, and I'm like, yeah.
Although your gaming community probably won't recognize you without it.
I know.
You'll lose your Princess Leia look too without that on your head.
Yeah, I do have the Princess Leia thing going. You know, with the little hair cinnamon buns on the side.
See if anyone else jumped in here. What do we got here? I see Mr. Gretzky. I see Chris Winsky. No date tonight, huh, Chris? How'd that go, by the way? That's why he missed last week, everybody. Everyone, give Chris a hard time. He forsaked us to go out on a date, so don't forget that.
What, you and your date couldn't watch the show?
That's right. You should have impressed her with all your comic nerd buddies. You never know. It might turn out better.
Oh, man. That would have really worked well that night.
I think I saw Christopher Joy in there as well. There you go. Kurt's active tonight. I can't wait to go back and read and see what everyone's writing tonight. So, yeah. Those are our questions. So I guess, geez, we killed a half hour already, Anthony, with our yammering.
And we're just, we just can go on and on.
It's just the way we go on. And I'm almost empty here, so.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm good and oiled up.
I'm hoping that little Reaper doesn't come banging on the door anytime soon.
Well, let's explore then. So the topic that Anthony and I talked about was upgrading. And at first, that sounds like a really simple thing, But then if you start thinking about, well, what does that mean exactly? Are you talking one for one? So are you saying I want to upgrade my Swamp Thing 1 with a better grade up Swamp Thing? Or are you saying I'm going to sell my Swamp Thing 1 and get what would be a good thing to get for that? House of Secrets 92. That would be an upgrade. Are you talking that? Or are you talking what I did, where I sold 25 long boxes and bought all these Silver Age books that I always wanted? There's that way of doing it. And then the other thing, how are you going to do it? Are you just going to fund it out of your pocket? Are you going to sell something? Are you going to get a part-time job? Are you going to trade? Where are you going to do it? Are you going to do it on eBay? You're going to do it at a show? There's just so many different ways that this could work. And that's just how I took it. I don't know how you took it, because what Anthony and I'll do is we'll throw out a topic to each other and we don't really talk about it much.
Yeah, we don't talk about it at all.
No,
we just throw it out on air.
Yeah. So it's always fun to see how we took it. That's how I took it. I don't know how you took it.
No, I didn't think that deeply in it.
That's the beer talking.
For me, when I think of upgrades, I just think of like upgrading a particular issue, excuse me, to maybe a better copy. It could be a slightly better copy, or it could be a way better copy. But that's the way I took it. And but all the things that you mentioned, like I want to get rid of Swamp Thing 1 and get House of Secrets 92. Absolutely. I would say that's definitely an upgrade. Or if I want to get rid of Amazing Spider-Man 1 to get Amazing Fantasy 15, I'd say that's a big upgrade.
Well, that's what I was thinking of as soon as we start talking about this. I remember when you were on the hunt for Amazing Fantasy 15, you sold some big books to get there.
I did. I had to.
Yeah. And, that I think, to me, that is probably the most satisfying way of doing it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love the word cull, and to cull something, cull your collection and get something else without coming out of pocket, without going on a credit card, without, using like your home equity line of credit or whatever people do. And I can understand it. I mean, comics can be an addiction, you know,
Like many things.
like many things, and I get it. But at the end of the day, it's really, don't do that. And I try not to be preachy. I know I do used to do sermons, and I am technically a reverend, but just that's one thing I will tell people: don't do that.
Well, you preach and I lecture. You're the former preacher and I'm the professor. So
yeah, well, I'm still current. I'm performing a wedding this summer already. So that's the one thing you don't want to do. And for me, it would, I guess you could say it's a cheapskate thing, but it ruins the enjoyment of a book for me. If I know that I had to sacrifice something in my life, you know, like, you know, give up, I don't know, don't pay your rent or something for a month. I don't know what people do, or whip out a credit card. I'm fortunate. I can't remember last time I used a credit card. It's been at least 15 years. I'm lucky. I just don't believe in it. The only thing I owe money on is the roof over my head. It's just the way I've always been. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, I would say don't ever leverage comics. Anyway.
I agree.
We're getting off topic.
No, I think it's good. I think it was, you know, a really good topic to talk about. You know, I mean,
well, it's part of it. It's part of upgrading because.
Didn't you upgrade your house in a sense?
Well, that brings me to my next thing. I was going to throw you a curveball. When you first started talking about upgrading.
Well, I just caught your curveball.
Yeah, you did. Well, I'm a big proponent of downgrading, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. And I can show you. I got an example here. Off go the panties. I don't think he's watching, but he'll watch it on the rewind.
Did you sniff it?
This is my copy of Amazing Spider-Man 121. And this is a book that I love, that I think really shaped the Bronze Age. But it's an 8.0, and it's got white pages. Now, part of the reason why I got this is you can't really see it, but right along here, there's a non-breaking kind of a bend, I would call it. It's not really a fold, and it's probably close to 2 inches long. And it's barely perceptible, but in the one photo I saw, I could make it out perfectly. And I know that'll press right out. And then there are two, one here by the upper staple and one by the lower staple. And they're just little bends, and they'll come right out. So if you got rid of those three, I think this is probably a 9.0 or maybe a 9.2 all day. So for me, I'm a big fan of, I love 7.0s. That's probably my favorite grade, pretty 7.0s, say. And Alex, the comic order, he showed off his Uncanny X-Men 94, I think, last week, and it was a 7.0, and it was a nice 7.0. You know, clean white pages, no major defects, no big corner creases, color corner creases. So for me, I would probably downgrade that book. As much as I like that book, I bought it at a good price, but if I crack that open in a 9.2, a 9.2 is probably going to add at least $300-400 onto the value of that book. So what I would do is I would crack it, press it, sell it, buy back a 7.0 for a couple $100, $220, whatever, and then I could go on and use the rest of that profit to go buy another book. You know,
see, that's a smart way to do it.
You know, so that. But the thing is you have to be able to enjoy and appreciate a 7.0. I have books that are 4 5s in my collection. I think are beautiful.
Well, I got books that are lower than that.
Yeah, that I wouldn't. You know,
and I know that some people don't like books below a certain grade. Well, that's just,
and I get that. There's guys out there, and I meet them at shows. They want all 9.8s. I sell to them a lot because I get a lot of 9.8s in modern books, and you know, I see repeat
like 9.8s in everything they collect.
Yeah,
they want a 9.8 Tales of Suspense 39.
Well, they don't see. That's the thing. They're mostly
they don't want that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Why not?
Well, like this little guy. This is a great book.
Well, that's not a little guy.
It's only a 6.5, and I say that, you know, a little bit in jest, but a little bit serious. You know, when I bought this book, you know, it was a little over $1,000, and now I think a 6.5 is probably closer to 2,000 now, isn't it? I
don't know. I haven't checked the GPA in a while.
At least for that book. This one has off-white pages, and I'll say, and I love doing it. It's the prettiest 6.5 I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, we've said this before. Not all grades are made the same.
Right.
Not all 6.5s are made the
same. Yep.
Yes, not all 2.0s are the same. Or
there isn't a single color breaking mark on this thing. But this one is one that I would probably keep because it's a 6.5. It's nice, great color, It's in that story arc that we talked about, and I have the other two. I have 49 and 50, although I'd say both of them are probably going to come back at least 8.0s. The 49's got a chance, I think, of a little higher grade. We'll see. And if they do, then I probably won't keep them. And I know that sounds crazy.
So you would maybe downgrade to maybe a 7 or a 6?
Yeah, I would probably.
It looks nice.
This is a 6.5, and I could probably get 2 6.5s. For a quarter of the cost of what a 9.0 and an 8.0, because I think my 50 is going to come back in 8.0, and I think the other one's going to be at least an 8.5, maybe more on a good day. So for me, upgrading sometimes is a downgrade.
Yeah. No, that I still consider that an upgrade.
Yeah.
Anything that you get that you are satisfied with.
Yeah.
If you're selling a book to get the same book in whatever, a lower grade or a higher grade, whatever your reasoning is, I would say that's an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people that see upgrade as a black or white thing may not see it that way. They may say, well, how is that an upgrade? You went down. But, some people, there's a lot of gray to the way people collect. And
and I think sometimes, too, when people are upgrading, I think the perfect time to upgrade, too, is when a comic starts a free fall.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like right now, if you're a Venom fan, that book on Amazing Spider-Man 300, I think is softened a little bit. I don't think it's being close to $3,000 anymore for the newsstand edition. I think you can get that for probably less than $2,500 at this point. So, but
it's been that for a little while now, Patrick.
Yeah. So I think the guys that like to collect really high grade either just really like high grade. There used to be a guy that called himself that. That's Seeking Near Mint. That was his name. I think that's all he liked. And I think that if you can learn to get an appreciation for a nice copy of it, you'll be a lot happier, because you won't have one nice book to put on your shelf or your wall. If you went after Fantastic Four 48 in 9.2, you're going to spend a lot of money on that book, and it might be the only nice book that you have.
Yeah. Well, you have to sit back and ask yourself.
For me, I'd rather have 20 great Silver Age books all in 6.5, 7.0, 7.5 than one in 9.2.
Yeah, you have to sit back and ask yourself what kind of collector you are, and decide what you're going to do, and be perfectly okay with it. Like you said earlier, you have to be perfectly okay with owning a 7.0.
Yeah.
Some people, they can't collect like that.
Yep.
Some people can't collect. They have to complete an entire run, or it throws them in like a collection free fall, collector free fall. Like, oh, I can never complete this, and it, drives them crazy. So where they wind up quitting, or they get frustrated easily. You have to find that happy place.
I have advice on how to break that. For those of you, just you privately message me, and I'll tell you how you can break that completist.
Private message him, and it'll only cost you $19.99. So have PayPal.
That's how I'll buy more comics. I did watch a bunch of videos today. Nick's been cranking out some really fun videos.
Yeah, I like the rules of comic rule of acquisition.
With the Ferengi. I wonder if, he should get the Ferengi ears and rub his ears, because if I remember right, the Ferengis like their ears touched.
It's a sexual thing for them. Yeah, it's their erogenous zone. They have their ears rubbed.
I don't want you putting those ears on now. I don't want to see Nick getting erogenous.
Well, maybe some people do.
Yeah, I watched DS Comics. He had a good video today. He had a really cool werewolf cover.
Fantastic. There was another one, Fantastic Fears.
I think it was called Crack Comics.
Comics.
It looked like Flash Gordon was about to get attacked by a werewolf, but it was a cool depiction of a werewolf because he was standing on like the pads of his feet, like a dog would, kind of. So it was a cool looking Wolfman. And then what blew my mind, it was from the 40s. So it reminded me of the werewolves that were in The Howling. I don't know if you remember that movie.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
And at the time, those were the most horrifying werewolves I had ever seen.
The Howling.
Yeah. And then American Werewolf in London. That was okay, not as scary. Look, it
was a black comedy.
Yeah.
Horror comedy, rather.
Horror comedy, yeah. Is that okay to say still? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, Crack Comics, there he is. Yep. Yeah, I watched that today. That was really good. And Metarog had a fun one, too, on the Marvel Value Stamps.
Yes.
And he went through the different color variations and all that stuff. And I haven't finished that video yet. I have all the comics now. I have the actual book, and I just have to cut them out. I'm not going to be a surgeon like Nick is, where he gets out the X-Acto knife and goes around everything. I'm just gonna cut him out.
Goes around the curve.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. How it's like surgery.
Well, he's patient in that.
Yeah, well, that's the
respect.
thing. Patience is what he preaches. So let's get back into upgrading. So what are books you want to upgrade?
Well, I have examples of things that I upgraded and what my definition of upgrade is. So like, it speaks to the way I upgrade. I have some comics here, and I have some games here to talk about what does an upgrade look when it comes to a game, and what is it for me, and what does an upgrade look for when it comes to comics. Okay. Here is a game called the Albert Odyssey. I talked about working designs, how they packaged everything. Then these, for those that like collecting variants, they would release variant discs. So everyone had to go out and buy every one with different art design and all that stuff.
And that was the only difference, exact same game.
Yes.
So that's really like a variant cover then.
Yeah, the working designs was great. But anyway, one of the upgrades, I had this game for many, many years ago. But I wanted to upgrade mine because a couple of things were missing. Like we compare this to Marvel stamps. You're just talking about Marvel stamps. See this? One of the things that you got to worry about when you're collecting these type of games is the registration card. Mine didn't have it. And the little advertisement that comes with it. It didn't have it. So I wanted to upgrade mine to this copy I have here. And I was able to do it. This game, I sold my copy, I think, for $200. And I was able to pretty much pay for this one when I decided.
So that's the next thing I was going to ask. What's the order of operation? Do you sell the one that you have in hopes that you're going to get an upgrade, or do you wait to upgrade and then sell?
Yeah, I sell it first.
Usually. Wow, that's risky.
You know, I figure, well, once it's if it's sold and I have the money, that money is only put aside for that
book.
For that book or for that game. It doesn't go into a pot to get Tales from the Crypt 20 or anything like that. Okay. It only goes, and I take what Nick says, be patient. Although I think Nick doesn't sell his stuff before he gets the upgrade. He gets the upgrade first. Yeah, but I'm patient.
Then he always has a free reader, I noticed, too, he likes to do.
Yeah, I'm patient, and when my copy pops up, I could attack on it, and I could go for it. And I talk about that in a future video. I made like a bunch of videos that are going to be released over the next few weeks. It's always, if you're looking to get a key or get something, whether it's an upgrade or whatever.
Is there a part of you that worries, like, okay, say you sold these books and you saved up like $3,000 or something like that? Is there part of you that's worried, like, my furnace is going to blow up and then the money's going to get spent?
Well, we always we always have extra money for things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't live that way.
No. I have a circus net fund, I call it.
Yes, yeah, because things happen all the time, like car. What happens if you have to get new brakes or something like that? Even though my brother-in-law is a mechanic, so he just does the brakes cheap for me. But other things you have to be prepared for. And like, oh my God, now I have to spend this on that. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm very, very particular on how I do things.
Yeah,
and it's worked out for me.
Yeah,
it may not work for anybody else, but it works for me.
It's tough because I think what can happen to you, and this kind of happened to me when I first got back. I was selling so much stuff when I first got back, and I had that money, and then I would see all these fun Bronze Age and late Silver books, and I would start buying them, and then I started realizing, well, wait a minute, my war chest is dwindling away. I'm not. If one of those really nice books presents itself, I'm going to be a couple $1,000s short.
Right. There is a fund I have going toward a certain book.
Yeah.
Nothing, if I buy other things, but nothing comes out of that fund.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way for me.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, it goes.
It's a good way to be.
Yeah. If I, want to get something, I take it out from, my wallet or whatever. It doesn't come out of what's already saved. It doesn't work that way. So that's an example of an upgrade for me. But the true and blue completist type upgrade when it comes to that. Another example is, this is a low grade book, but you were there for it. And I'll tell you why it's an upgrade.
Oh yeah.
This is a 2.0. This is not gonna, wow anybody.
It's a nice 2.0 though.
Yeah, like I said, there are some 2.0s that are made differently.
Your copy was rough.
Yeah, but my copy was restored.
Yeah.
My original. Now, some people think that I'm I'll accept restored books. I have like 2 restored books.
But there's one I know that you want to upgrade.
Which one would
Your
that be?
Hulk 3.5.
No.
You don't think you'll upgrade that?
No. I have a Hulk one. It's a 2.5. I have no desire in the world to upgrade that book. I will attempt to have the restoration removed from my Tech 140.
Okay.
And people say to me, like, oh, the grade's going to go down. Well, of course the grade's going to go down.
Yeah.
But, what it goes down to will still be worth a lot more than what it is right now.
Exactly.
And more desirable.
Yeah.
But I had a restored FF5. And to me, this is an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it.
No, it definitely is. And then when I think back, and we touched on this when I was talking about my landfill collection last week and the week before. Some of those books I won't upgrade, and I started to do it, like Khazar 5 I got, and I got a couple others that I upgraded, but midstream, not even midstream, but early on, I decided I don't want to do that. I want to keep these old ones. They're not worth anything, and getting a Khazar or a Khazar, some of you like to say, pristine, and I have one. It's probably a 9.4 now. It's a beautiful, beautiful copy, but I mean, what's it worth? 10, 15 bucks?
Yeah, you don't want to get rid of.
I'm not going to get rid of the other one, so there's no sense in upgrading it. Now, I did upgrade my X-Men 95 because I didn't even have a cover, and I wanted one in my collection actually had a cover, so I did go ahead and do that. I flying by here. I wish I could beat that.
I have Amazing Spider-Man 300, and my copy's probably anywhere between a 7.5 and an 8.0, so it's nothing to write home about. One day I might want to get an upgrade, but I wouldn't sell off that one because it's like what you just said, something I want to keep because it's something that definitely has my claws are into it, when it comes to meaning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I could totally see that, and I think that's it. So, I mean, I think you've had a lot of success buying not on eBay.
True.
And I think that, again, this is a little bit of, I guess, advice from doing this. I think that when you're going after bigger books, your better place is not eBay, is not to buy them on eBay. It's not to say you can't get them there. And there's stories all over, and I'm sure guys in the chat will speak up. But different things like the CGC forum, places like that, I think are some of the best places to get upgrade your books.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a good place to get rid of your book. And
I also go to my comic book guy. He has a large amount of stuff, and I tell him that he doesn't have on display.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, hey, I'm looking to upgrade this. Do you have it? And he'll go into the vault and tell me what he has, and so forth and so on. Or whenever he gets something that I'm looking for, whether it's an upgrade or not, he'll send me a text.
Yeah, I think some dealers too are open to say that you bring in, I don't know, just pick a random book. Say you had a Silver Surfer 1 and it was a 5.0 and they had a 7.0. If you brought your 5.0 with you with cash, they'll take that because in their mind, they still have the book to put up on the wall to sell. They moved a higher dollar book. They got cash. It's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for you. So,
my guy would definitely do that.
That's definitely a method that if for those of you that want to upgrade a specific book, try that avenue because it's worked for me in the past. And I know it's worked for Anthony. It's the book for book. You'll bump up a little bit cash, to make up the difference. And it's a great way. Now I've also done it the opposite way, where I've downgraded and I've gotten a lower that I perceive, that everyone perceives, but to me it looks just as good. Like I get a 7.0, I'll give them my 8.0 and I'll get some either store credit or if it's at a show, I'll get another book.
Yeah.
I'll do that all day.
That works out really well.
Yeah.
You still have the book. It's something that you feel is decent and you have a little something extra to get the next thing that you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could really work out well.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Yep. Now you're going to get guys that don't care. They buy all their books dirt cheap from somebody's mom when they go away to college. She trades their books in for $100. Those dealers are out there, and that's just how they make their money. But you get other ones that are a little more shrewd, and they don't mind trading like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Through experience.
It's a good one. Not all dealers are going to be up to it, but a lot of them will. It's a 1-for-1 and cash. So.
Yeah.
Don't make the trade to where they want to trade you 3 or 4 mid bronze books for a high key Silver Age book, because I get that a lot too. That doesn't interest me.
And another thing about what I do when it comes to upgrading, how I'll sell the book that I have before I actually have the upgrade in hand. I mean, a lot of times I have my eye on the upgrade.
Yeah. Yep.
And it usually works out. I sell it, then I'm able to strike on the upgrade. But a lot of times, though, I don't have the upgrade already. And some may say, well, don't you feel bad that you got rid of that book? I'm like, listen, if I'm willing to sell that book, I have no love for it. I pretty much set it out.
Yeah.
I said to myself, you're going, and that's it. No regrets. If there are regrets,
it's like the guys in Private Ryan, the first one's off the boat. you get pushed down, you're going to get shot.
Yep. Good luck. Good luck, Private.
Good luck. Yeah. Say your prayers, Rabbit. I think everyone, or at least a lot of guys in this community, I've seen them do this, where they'll sell off stuff to get a book, and then they slowly will replace what they have. You've done a really good job, I'd say, last year or so, replacing a lot of books that you sold to get to Amazing Fantasy 15 and Hulk #1.
Yeah. That was a crazy year. I got
the Hulk. You got Fantastic Four that same year too, didn't you?
No, I got that the year before that.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, last year was the first. In January, I got the Hulk. Then in February, I got Fantasy. Then in March, I got X-Men 1. There's never going to be another year like that. But it was all the stars aligned when it came to culling the collection, upgrades that also came that year and stuff like upgrades. I have a bunch of upgrades this year that I'm making and I've already got, and there'll be more of them next year.
Those would be some videos I'd like to see. Like some of the guys that I know are really active in buying and selling and trading a little bit. Like Rags, he does a lot of that. I think Knights of Old does a lot of that. Where they buy on boards or they buy through trades. They kind of seem to have a network built up, and you have that where you are, where you have some really good dealers near you.
I do.
Yeah, I have a lot of stores near me, but they don't seem to have some of the books that I really want. I have to go to shows to get those, so I definitely am looking forward to going to Charlotte. It should be interesting because the end game will be out and done by then, and the dust will have settled by June. So. I think it'll be an interesting time.
I'll tell you one book I probably would like to get maybe at the end of the year, or might be on my top 10 next year. Iron Man 55. I had one. I sold it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting that one again. After
I think that's one that will cool off a little bit.
Now, I'm not going to get an 8.0 or anything.
I think that might be the one character Marvel wouldn't kill. They love killing off villains for some reason in every movie. But that character, I think, is just one that they may hang on to for a little while.
Thanos?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because he's kind of, in a weird way, a likable villain in the movie.
Well, yeah.
I know. Pardon me, I was kind of rooting for him at one point.
Oh, he did what he had to do.
I love his plan. He had a plan, and he worked his plan, and he just did it. He outplayed him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I'm interesting, but again, I'm always interested to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. It's exciting. Have you seen Captain Marvel yet?
No. You could talk about it if you want.
I don't want to. I will say to everybody, I enjoyed it. I kind of in my head was ranking movies where I would put them, and I liked it better than Black Panther. And it might be blasphemous to some people, but I liked it much better than Black Panther, actually. So I don't know. The worst of the Marvel movies for me so far has been the second Thor movie. I thought was
that was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
And I didn't like the second Iron Man. I thought was terrible.
Or the third one.
I kind of, there's parts of the third one I really like.
I didn't like it.
I like the interaction with the kid, and I think they opened the door to the Eternals in that too. I think where the villain was talking about the gap in DNA. I think he really left it open for the Eternals and the Celestials and that whole storyline.
I'm really wondering where they're going to go with that.
Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, I couldn't have predicted how successful and just fun to watch Guardians of the Galaxy is.
Yeah, I would never have thought that.
Yeah, and I see them going on past, into the next phase.
Well, I think they have one more movie.
Yeah, they do, and I see James Gunn's back, so that's interesting. He wrote 3, so now he's back on again. I don't know what that means for the second Suicide Squad. I don't know if he'll stay on that or not. I don't know if Hudat's still on here. He's usually up on all the movie stuff. Nick usually is too, so he could probably tell you that. But I stay away from most of that. I did notice that headline though that James Gunn was back, so that was kind of exciting. At least they'll let him finish. It would have a totally different feel if somebody else did that movie.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Regardless.
And I do hope they bring Annihilus out. I think that would be a fun character.
I think it's I think when it comes to X-Men and Fantastic Four, I think the sky's the limit now.
It really is. There's such a rich history.
You sit back and you say, "Oh, they'll never use this character. Why not?"
Yep.
Why not?
I saw something too right before we came on. There's a blurb, something about the Black Widow movie may be R-rated.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be. That'd be pretty interesting. I guess because of the amount of hand-to-hand combat, there's undoubtedly going to be some pretty gory killing in it. So maybe that's where it goes, or maybe it will go that direction with more skin. I'm sure that would be a fan favorite.
We'll see what happens.
We got a bunch of different guys. I see Comic Crypto Stocks in here. I thought I saw Kingdom Comics. I think he stopped in for a little bit. Some nudes. So some of the people I don't recognize as much. That's nice.
We get some new people.
Yes, they're all having the chat kind of takes on a life of its own.
But we're almost done. We got another 4 minutes.
Yeah, went pretty dang quick.
Yeah, we've really blasted through it. But no, that's what I feel about upgrades.
Yeah, I don't have a lot that I want to upgrade. I was thinking about that. Mine's more downgrading, I think, than anything. Like that Spider-Man I talked about. And I'm looking at a box of CGC books and then Raw books that I have because I usually collect Raw for myself. But I think in just curiosity, I'm going to send a lot of them in to see where they come out, because if they come out at 8092, I probably will sell them and just use that money to get like an Amazing Fantasy 15 or go after X-Men #1, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, X-Men #1. That, like I said, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
With X-Men, I'm a big believer that you think they're going to use the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the way they use the Avengers and everybody else. I'm a big believer that you're going to see characters like the Shadow King.
Yeah.
I don't know to what capacity, long-term capacity, short-term capacity, whatever it is. I would not be surprised if you see Savage Land stuff. I'm surprised you won't. I'm surprised. I would be surprised if you didn't see Sauron, and he probably won't be called Sauron. Depending on Tolkien's estate, if they allow that, it'd probably just be called Carl Lycos.
Yeah, it's called Lycos. I think is fine.
Lycos, yeah, that'd be fine. But
I think too, when we touched on this a few weeks back, I think you're going to see a lot more linkage between the streaming service and the big screen.
Yeah, I would like that. I would think that'd be cool.
I think marketing-wise, it makes sense. I
think that would be.
How about now? Audio? No audio?
Patrick.
Yes, I can hear you.
But I can't hear you. I can read your lips.
I wonder if it's only you or if no one can hear me.
What happened was the feed, we lost you for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you just popped back up.
I crossed over into another dimension. Oh, EC Ed said he hears me. Oh, well. Knights World said he hears us both.
Technical difficulties.
Kevin R. Sorry if I missed you earlier, Kevin R.
Or just gentlemen.
We all hear Patrick. Anyway, well, we got 1 minute to go, so I will go through and read the comments like I always do, and if there's something in there, I'll try to answer it. I don't know that if we had any questions, so I don't know if any no prizes will be awarded. We might have actually. I think I was trying to figure out what issue something was. I'm sure someone fired off the answer to that. But one thing that I did want to touch on is the appearance of Shroud. Oh, you can't hear me.
I still can't hear you. Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Well, for those of you out there, Anthony's video on Supervillain was the first.
We don't see the little thing on near your picture to let everyone know there's sound. It's dead right now, Patrick. But I don't know. But it's 8 o'clock anyway, everybody. So we should get going. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for sticking with us. And we look forward to, if you have any questions, you could email Patrick or you could email me. Hopefully you hear me.
Or leave them in the comments.
You can hear me. Okay, great. But yeah, if you could email either of us, we'd be glad to talk about at the top of the hour. And we look forward to seeing you again. Have a great week and keep digging in those long boxes.
Digging the long box. Life, liberty, pursuit of comics, and keep reading. I'll see y'all later.